So Manchester United is actually 5 games unbeaten in the Premier League. And if you look at the goals scored for Premier League, Manchester United are the fourth for goals scored in the Premier League. But sadly, when it comes to goals conceded also in the Premier League, Manchester United are fifth. And also the more deeper problem is that if you also look at the SG, you're going to find out that it reflects that the goals that Manchester United has conceded, they are supposed to concede it based on the XG and based on the stats. And that actually got me worried, and I had to watch all the goals that Manchester United has conceded throughout the season, and you're going to find out that Manchester United has conceded only 6 goals at home this Premier League season, and 5 of those 6 goals are from set pieces or second play layoff, while one of those goals are open play goals. That actually tells you that Manchester United are very bad in defending set pieces, in defending the ball in the box at home, and also there are also variety of factors that has made Manchester United not be able to also defend the ball inside the box, because of also our wing backs are not good in defending crosses, are not good in headers, and also not good in stopping those crosses from coming into the box. And also, if you look at Manchester United away, is entirely different because you have conceded 12 goals away in 6 games, and that's basically like 2 goals per game. And you're going to find out that Manchester United, that has actually cost us a very important result in our last 2 games, because we have resulted to conceding a lot of goals away from home, and that has been a lot of big issue for Manchester United this season. And so that actually brings us to the point to actually ask what is the problem for Manchester United. So if Manchester United can be able to solve our defensive issues and defending of balls inside the box in Old Trafford, Manchester United is definitely going to make Old Trafford a fortress. But the way Manchester United needs to work on a lot of things, and we are going to basically get into that in a bit, because if you look at the goals that Manchester United has considered away from home, it is basically through balls, through cutbacks, or through a lot of unnecessary crosses that Manchester United invites during the end of games. So guys, let's actually analyze how Manchester United has been at home and away, and then we can know how Manchester United can be able to solve our poor defensive issues this season. So guys, now we are beginning to see that all the points we are making earlier in this video is beginning to actually click, because why is it that we concede a lot of set pieces at home and then we don't concede set pieces away? You're going to find out that if you look throughout the lineups of Manchester United throughout the season, in majority of the games, Maguire do not start at home. And so we have the back line of Shaw, which is actually not a central back, and then Delete is also very good on the air, and then Leniero is also not that good in the air. So these are the kind of players we start at home, and you find out that Manchester United tend to concede from set pieces or second layers. And then away from home, Manchester United then start with Harry Maguire. You see that Manchester United no longer concede from set pieces, but rather will concede from through balls, from cutbacks in the penalty area, which is basically one of the highest weaknesses of Harry Maguire. So guys, let's actually talk about how Manchester United approach games in home and how we approach games away. And so if you look at how Manchester United approach game in home, Manchester United are actually very aggressive. We play in a 4-4-2 shape. We are very aggressive with our press. We tend to not play most often in the 5-3-2 shape. Manchester United are more very open and more aggressive. They play more in the front foot shape. And Manchester United usually have 2 players trying to press the central backs of the opposition to, create a lot of turnovers. But when Manchester United play with just one man at front, you see that Manchester United is very passive. So if Manchester United play with the 4-4-2 shape and we are very aggressive in our press and very compact, it's going to lead to a lot of turnovers. It's going to lead to a lot of chance creation. And so Manchester United are going to be able to, hunt the opposition as much as possible. But you're going to find out that when we play most times away from home, you're going to find out that Ruben Amorim is going to, when Harry Maguire comes into the team, of course, away from home, Manchester United is going to squeeze to a back 5. You're going to play in a 3-5-2 shape or a 5-4-1 shape, just like we did against Liverpool. You're going to find out that just one man is going to be pressing, and it's going to make our front line to be very shallow. It's going to keep the defense line a lot of times to detect the play, to play those through balls, which are definitely the weakness of Harry Maguire. You could see when we play against Liverpool, I think Marco Konate was usually trying to play those, force those through balls that is very detrimental to, Luke Shaw and Harry Maguire for them to defend those last places. So this is one of the issues that Manchester United face away from home, because we play with a back 5 and Manchester United tends to be more, defensively aware and defensively secure. You could also see in the Nottingham Forest game, Manchester United set up in a 5-4-1 shape, with Manchester United to leave a lot of spaces for Hudson-Odoi and Nico Williams to exploit on the back post, and it was really, really bad for Manchester United. So I think away from home, we tend to drop relatively deep, and in as much as we are going to be compact and we are going to be hard to play against or hard to break, but it's going to give the opposition a lot of time on the ball. It's going to give them freedom on the ball, and if the fullbacks are not really tight on the opposition players on the pocket spaces, or if the left ten or the right ten are not able to cover those large spaces in behind the central midfielders, Manchester United are really going to be exploited, and it's going to be an issue for Manchester United. So away from home, I think that Manchester United should play more proactively instead of playing in a 5-3-2 shape or a 5-4-1 shape where we are going to be exploited and will tend to drop relatively deep, which is going to lead to a lot of cutbacks. It's not really a nice approach, especially when a team like Everton, we are going to play next in the Premier League. They are very good in cutbacks and they're also very good in set pieces. So Manchester United should be ready to play on the front foot against Everton to use a good result and avoid conceding another 2 goals. So despite being able to scrap positive results in our last 5 Premier League games with 3 wins and 2 draws, you're going to find out that Manchester United really has to improve the way that they concede goals in the Premier League. And this is something that we either recruit new players that can be able to defend in the box, that can be able to stop crosses, and that can be able to defend properly in the box, or Ruben Amorim would have to change some little tactical details that it's going to really help us to sustain ourselves throughout the course of the season. And also, one of the ways Manchester United can stop these issues is simply by stopping crosses. And our wing backs are really terrible at that. Zico Dalot is one of the most, terrible players for Manchester United. He doesn't know how to close his man or to stop crosses. And even though Amad Diallo is more proactive and he knows how to, track his man down most of the time, but most of the times, definitely he's a winger, so he can be beaten in 1v1 situation, and those crosses can definitely come in. So either Manchester United will choose new wing back that can be able to stop crosses, or we get like defenders that are really beasts in the air that can be able to defend the ball in the box properly. And also, Ruben Amorim really has to deviate from going really deep and trying to stop the opposition when we play away. He really has to defeat from this back five, dropping relatively deep, and this is going to really give the opposition and their creative players, they are more harmful players, especially with more quality in the Premier League, to get into those dangerous areas and try to hurt Manchester United. So guys, I want you guys to give me a thought in the comment section. I want you guys to tell me if Ruben Amorim really needs to change from back five, especially away from home. I want you guys to like, to share, to subscribe to Tactical Trafford, as I'll be making more videos on Manchester United. So see you guys in my next video.